Hello and welcome back to Thrive 365 podcast. And I'm your host, Kevin Metili. And if you're tuning back to this podcast, just know this is your place to thrive and become the greatest and the best version of yourself, to become all that you were created and designed to be. Last year, we had a couple of episodes and we had guests. And this year, we're going to start with a bang. And we're going to have a good time. I believe so, because I've never really done a solo episode. And so this is the first ever solo episode. So I'm just going to try to chill and lay back and allow some poses here and there. So let's get right to it.
Truth ain't loud, but it speaks. And when it does, it sets you free.
So for most of you, 2025 probably has been the year or our year or maybe the year. So I know 3 different things. And looking into 2026, resolutions are like, I want to make my own resolution. I want to put my checkpoints, goals. I want to execute. For me, there is something that hit me big time last year. I did make resolutions. I had a notebook. It's not this one, but there's a notebook that I wrote some of my desires. That was January. I used a pencil. I love using pencils. I think it's because you can erase after writing. So I used my pencil and I jotted down all the things I desire. Now, writing them down and executing them are 2 different things, but the point is I wrote them down. And I kind of misplaced my notebook. Confession. I left it in church. I think it's still there. I didn't pick it up. But I still remember some of the things that I wrote. And coming to December 2025, there is some really cool thing that I heard that I'm going to share this with you. And it's from the man of God that I serve under, my spiritual father. His name is Isaac Malonga. And he said something very, very powerful. And I think this is something you probably want to put down. He said, assessment creates awareness. Now, before I break that down, I just want you to think about it a little bit. Assessment creates awareness. That became the foundation of my assessment for 2025 in December. That was like the bedrock. I sat down with that statement and I remember I was coming into the office. That was probably one morning. And I got in and I was thinking about assessing myself, thinking about evaluating 2025, thinking about what could I have done or what did I do that I can learn, and probably mistakes that I made that I can learn from and hold myself from falling into pit holes come 2026. That's a good thought, right? But the idea of sitting down and thinking about all aspects of your life, your spirituality, not everybody still sits down and think about my walk with God. What did I do this year? What did I not do? How could I make it better? My health, like my body. Am I working out enough? Should I work out some more? Is what I'm trying, because I've been trying to gain weight. Is the idea of gaining weight and whatever strategy I'm using, is it working? And am I trying to gain weight from what point or state of heart? Because we can do stuff. Action is something you can do. You can take action, but it's very important where your action stems from, what state of heart, what intent, what posture, because it really affects, because the state of your heart is really what makes your being, if you get what I mean. Like the state of your thinking, your subconscious mind, your heart, the deepest part of you where the programming stays. If that place is not aligned to the truth, the results will be what you're experiencing right now. So what you're experiencing right now is a result of what you are thinking or of the programming that is in your heart. So looking into health, business, finance, looking at every single aspect of life and thinking that I have to assess, analyze, what did I do? What didn't I do? What was the input? What was the output? Do I like the output? And if I don't like the output, what do I do? Do I change the output? How do I change the output? Probably the input was wrong. And so, or probably my thinking about the input is wrong. So that is not a small job. It takes intentionality. And that's the whole point of thriving in every day of your life. You have to have an intentional mind. You have to have an intentional heart. You don't grow by chance, you grow by intention. And if there is no intention in what you do, then be okay with the results you get, because the input is reflecting in your output. So I look back and I say to myself, I know if I sit down and pick up a pen and paper and try, hear me, and try to assess or evaluate, probably I come up with 3, 4, 5 questions. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And probably question number 1 will be something like, what worked and what didn't work. And I will do it from there. I might go deeper. Well, I would, because I know myself. I'm like very introspective. I will get into the detail. I will come up with the questions. But then I can only go far on a piece of paper, on a notebook. And after I get all that data, I know I'm geeking out. After I get all that data, the next thing that needs to happen is me to analyze. This is where your analytical skills are important. I know you did 30 push-ups the last 7 days, you missed 3 days, and some of the days you did 30 and you broke them down. You actually did them and spaced them an hour apart. I know you did that. But then what does that mean in relation to your goal? What is your goal? What are you trying to, what are you trying? We're going to talk about that. What are you trying to achieve? So as I was assessing my 2025, so I was like, okay, what do I do? Health, spirituality, finance, relationships, something that I have not assessed the years ago. I would just look at it and say, I want my friends, but not really gone into looking and saying, who are my friends? And my friends, and why am I friends with them? What is in it for them? What is in it for me? What is this? Is this based on history? Is this based on destiny? Is this based on convenience? Is this based on brokenness, as a broken heart? Is this based on I need you to fill my void kind of space? You've got to assess that. You've got to look at with a different eye and realize what it is and accept what it is, and part ways, hard part, in places where you need to part ways. Because this is not just about assessing and finding it's cool. This is about you getting to the place God wants you to get. It's about you getting to a place where God is calling you to be. And all these things are deeply embedded in you. The more you stay in Him, the more you identify them. And that's what makes assessment a key thing. You're not assessing because it's a cool thing to do. You're assessing because you're intentional about getting where God wants you to be. That's the whole point of assessment. So I looked at that. I'm like, okay, traditional method. If I put a pen and paper, probably I could just do it on the computer, right? Write it down, use Google Docs or Microsoft. I don't use Microsoft. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I'm sorry, Microsoft. I just feel like being online is so cool. I can integrate all my devices and have Google Doc on my phone, Google Doc on my laptop. I feel like getting into the Microsoft ecosystem right now, it's just too much energy. I think they're good, but I'm just not a Microsoft person. Google. So yeah, I could do that, but then I've done that before. You could have a lot of documents everywhere, here and there, Google Doc there, and then the Google Doc there, and then your Google Drives. Yeah, Google. When you get into Google, you sign up for the Google account, and you're like, oh wow, I have a Google account, it's free, and then they give 15 GB. You're like, 15 GB is a lot. I will never finish 15 GB. And then you start getting some photos and your phone auto syncs to your drive. And then you take videos, get a new phone. Your phone has higher quality, takes footage in higher quality, and it just auto sync. You never monitor it. And then before you know it, 15 GB is done. And you're like, let me try to delete a few things. And you're like, oh, I don't have the time for that. Like 15 GB, it's just, I don't know, 5,000 to the desk. Not so bad. You put it in, you forget, you don't have a structure. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but it has happened to me. I'm looking into paying for 200 GB and I'm like, I finished 100 GB. How? Probably need to section some time to analyze, not really analyze, like just clean up my storage. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, when you're assessing, I thought, why not use AI? So that's when I got the idea. I went into the office. I got into the office and like, what if I try to avoid the whole idea of like going through paper and pen, thinking probably I can be biased, trying to get a friend who I trust and tell them my stuff, like data. I call it data because I'm sharing with them. They ask me questions. I need to tell them that, and then they need to analyze that. They should give me feedback, and probably they should not be biased as well. I'm not saying that's not something you should do. Like, it's an important thing. You can always get insight and thought from somebody you trust and who won't be biased, and you can take truth at your level. But it's still a process. If you want to assess, I'm just talking from a point where you want to assess yourself, self-assessment. And so I thought, probably there are a list of questions that I can ask myself that are valid and are important or essential in every aspect of my life, that will resurface or surface information, key information, that this key information, when I have that, I can analyze best and eventually get insights like, okay, so this happened because this happened, and because this happened, and so I need to change this. So I probably can come up with those questions, or I can just use AI. So the idea is to create, was, and that's what I did. I created an entire prompt and I told GPT, it's like, okay, so assess me. I want you to create a year-round assessment where you come up with questions that are essential for every aspect of my life. And in every question, I want you to draw a pattern, like not really draw a pattern. In every question under a certain aspect, let's say health, give me 10 questions, sequential. Don't give me them 10 like boom. Like, that's too many questions. Just give me one at a time. And after every question that I answer, give me another one. The information I'm going to give you, let's keep going into the 10th question. After we're done, I want you to give me a report of that aspect of life, and then do that for finances, do that for spirituality, do that for every aspect. And then in the end, I want you to compile all this and give me a report for the entire, like, 2025. And so as I was answering the questions, I know there's a privacy concern with AI, and I think it's important to think about that and to don't put sensitive information. But for me, I'm just gonna share stuff, like, let's just share stuff. I just want to see how it draws pattern. So just take your own caution. Like, I'm not telling you just drop everything on GPT, but just know what it does. It gives you a pattern. So let me make the example, try to give an easy example. If you have 7 things, like a dog, dog and a puppy. What? If you have a dog, a mirror, a piece of wood, the sky, and maybe gold. And if I ask you what's one common thing among all these 5, if not 6, you might come up with a few, 2 or 3. But you coming up with that is dependent on the level of information, the amount of information you have for each. So the person who has more depth of information about either is more likely to come up with more points or similarities versus the one who has a few. So what I'm saying is, if you can match the pattern and show that this matches with this because of this, and this. This is what's similar with all this. Then AI has more information in terms of, and I'm talking GPT, has more information in terms of gold in the web. Like there's so much information about gold. There's so much information about a puppy or a dog. So when you ask it to give you 16 similarities among all these, it's more likely to give you more than what you can think of. So if you have data about your health and you answer 10 questions, it's more likely to tell you, it's more likely to draw a pattern based on the information that you have given versus the information that's in the web, because it works with the information that's on the internet with people who have probably shared information around health. So it has the artificial intelligence, not a reliable intelligence. I'm not telling you to trust AI and be like, oh wow, I want to trust the AI and that's gonna be my everything. No, trust God. AI is a tool. So you just, so that ability to draw patterns to tell you, okay, because you answer number 1 to number 10 with this, it looks as though you're trying to do this with this, and that's why you're getting this result. So why don't you try this? So you have more data and information in relation to how it can better you, how you can, not it can, what, how you can better yourself. So your ability to just judge. So I know I'm talking about a lot about AI, but I'm getting somewhere. So with all of that, I did that, created the prompt, and I got all that information, and I did the assessment. It took me probably 2-3 weeks. Eventually, I started getting reports on my health, on my finance, I was like, what? It was like a place that was just bouncing my mind so that I can be more inquisitive about myself. That session, or those sessions, were among the most impactful moments in the last quarter of 2025. I discovered that the challenge with the whole year, like the whole year's theme, was basically transitioning and God trying to removing me from the wrong things that I've been identifying myself with and identifying myself with Him. And so whether that was finance and money, whether that was relationships, whether that was whatever, it was more of ripping. It was like a ripping year. It was like a transitional year. It was like, I want you to focus on me and focus on me alone. Everything that you're trying to put trust in will fade and fall eventually. And I know that, and I love you too much to allow that to happen. So I'm going to use your circumstance and your situation to work on you. And until when you understand, I am your source and sustainer, I'm your life, I'm your breath, I'm your meaning, I'm your reason, I'm your purpose. I am all that you have. I am. Until when you realize that, that's when you will have access. Now, it's a painful thing because this walk asks you to let go. So as I'm assessing, I'm realizing, wow, I'm getting aware of what God was doing throughout 2025. I'm getting aware of what the things that I could improve. I'm getting aware of the things that were holding me back. And if I took on the year 2026, which is this current year, things would not have improved. And so I'm sharing that to tell you that you cannot go every day just looking forward. I know you can't just go every day looking forward. You've got to look back, not to take your past with you, but to pick lessons, insights from the past and look forward with such lessons and insights. You could do that in so many ways, because doing that God has used that so much to heal me, to break me free from a few things. Sometimes I would have said something and it would end into a worship session. It would end into a time with God. It would end into breaking down in God's presence. It would end to prayer. And one of the most things that I've not mentioned is you have to know that yes, you're using AI. AI is just a tool. God is the source. So it is you and God in using the tool AI to dig, to dig, to think. But the transformation comes from God. It is through Him and the word that He shares with you. It could be a thought, it could be a revealing, it could be an enlightenment, that as you set your mind on that space, on that light, on that truth, on that discovery, that realization, as you stay there and meditate and not be too quick to leave that space, as you stay there, as you put your gaze there, and as you allow God to transform you, it's a transformational process. And this is something that I've used so many times. I would be reading a book, or I would be reading the Bible, or I would be somewhere just thinking, and then something from God or a thought, or it just drops. This is not like, Kevin, my son. It's just an inspiration. And it will feel as though it's a bush burning. And if I don't put my attention there, well, I mean, God will like, yeah. Because when Moses would have just passed by. But there was an intrigue, there was curiosity. The angel of the Lord in the flame from the bush. And it's like seeing if Moses will look. So if Moses wasn't curious, if Moses was like, that's just fire. Yup. I don't know. Maybe God would have not picked Moses that day. Of course, He did pick Moses. What am I saying? But maybe it would have taken longer for Moses to get the message and eventually get to Egypt and do his thing, like do his delivering thing. But his curiosity was intrigued, or rather he was intrigued and he was curious and he moved closer. And probably that's how God speaks to you. A thought, an idea, and it's just different. It's just peculiar. Like, what about something about this? And if you don't move closer, he won't force himself on you. He will just be, oh, yep, I'm out. Try again. Hopefully, I love you so much, you'll get it. And so your intrigue and curiosity is important in your growth. Very, like, super important. Question everything with the intent to learn, right? Question everything. Not to question from a prideful perspective with the intent to learn. Question even why you're going to church or why you're not going to church. Is religion boring you? Is the setting on a Sunday boring you? Is it just 1, 2, 3 and then you're gone? Like, question, why do we wear hats? I'm not wearing a hat right now, but that curiosity is one of the strongest and the most powerful weapon that you can ever have. The second thing would be, when you question everything, just know where is the right place to get the answers. Because you can question stuff and then have the wrong source, right? But question and then go to God, because He's the creator and the maker of everything. So throughout my assessment 2025, it was good. I have like a GPT thread in my chat GPT with assessment, and the reports were just, the insights were just amazing. I would probably recommend, if you would like, I might create a GPT. If you're conversant with GPTs, like my cousin just told me the other day that I can create a GPT and give people the links that they can do that assessment themselves. Like, okay, maybe by the time you're listening to this, I would have already placed the link on the comment sections if you want to do the assessment yourself. It will challenge you. Other than that, it was a great year. Coming into 2026, I learned a few things. Number one, I am not going to pour into you my mind, my intelligence that God gave me, the wisdom that God put in my life. I am not going to spend my time, my attention, too valuable with you if you are not worth it. When I say you're not worth it, I don't mean you're not worthy. You are worthy in the eyes of God, yes, but you don't value it. If you don't value it, why do I impose? Because that's one of the things I've been doing, I think, for a long time. And probably it was coming from a point of trying to identify with something that is not God. And so I'm like, no, I am not going to do that. I am not going to impose myself to you. I'm not going to be Superman. If you don't want help, I won't give it to you. I'm not going to assume you want it. I'm not going to assume that there's something between me and you. I'm not going to assume. I'm going to keep my heart super guarded, like how the Bible says, with my everything. With my everything. My everything. And so that's one of the, and I call it the peace first strategy. The peace first strategy. It means you guard your peace with everything that you have. You keep your peace. You put walls around your peace, and you just make sure that your heart is at peace. And so everything that is coming and trying to steal your peace, like I'm wrapping this time, every time that you try, every moment that somebody tries to take your peace, you fight hard. You fight hard for your peace. No devil, no demon in hell is going to hold you from your peace. So that's what I'm trying to say. Peace first. That means, what are the hobbies that recreate you? What are the hobbies that you actually like? Not somebody else. You like the hobby. Go do the hobby. That's what I discovered. Like, I love reading. Might not be the coolest hobby in town, but that's what I love to do. What do you love to do? What do you love to do? What makes you happy? Being too occupied with trying to make everybody happy, it ain't gonna work. It won't work. It won't work. It takes your energy, takes your time, takes your attention, it sucks the life out of you. You want to focus on you. You will never, ever, ever, ever thrive if you don't focus on you. Never, ever. I'm not saying you be selfish, because I think somebody might say sometimes you need to be selfish. No, you don't ever need to be selfish. The highest level of selflessness is the one that starts with you. What I mean is, love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with your everything. Then love your neighbor as yourself. The same cup that you use to love your neighbor is the same cup like the measuring cylinder is the love that you have for yourself, and that comes from God. So the only way you're going to be able to love your neighbor is when you can love yourself, and the only way you can love yourself is when you love God. You can't love yourself with the love that you do not have. It has to come from God. So everything that we say, love yourself, well, sometimes it's just, yes, selfishness. It is most of the times it is. But the genuine love is the agape that you don't even know how to love yourself, because you need a measuring rod to be able to know, oh, this is love and this is how I love myself. Because knowing how God loves you is the way, or the measuring rod you're going to use to love you. And you will now have a reference point. It's like, okay, so he loves me this much. Now I love me this much. That's the same measuring rod you use to love others. It's not an easy thing. If you don't have a love for God, it's tough. So it comes from a point of selflessness. So I do not believe that you're gonna be selfish sometimes. No, you don't have to be selfish. In fact, you cannot impact anybody with selfishness. In fact, you can't be on earth and leave, breathe, and have a good life when you're selfish? Well, you can't, because the whole idea of your destiny and your purpose is to eventually impact, to create dominion, to make a difference in people's lives. The whole point. So if it's me, myself, and I, then you should have gotten born on Jupiter or Pluto if it exists. Yeah. So what I'm saying is the more still you get in God, the more relaxed you get in God, is the more you can know yourself more and love yourself more and be free. So that liberty is what you're going for. But you cannot, if you don't like say, you know what, I want to have a better life, I want to be a better person, I want to think better, I want to eat better, I want to move better, I want to be better, I want to walk better, I want to stay better. Like, it has to come from that place. And so coming into 2026, I am excited. I was thinking about 30. I just turned 30 yesterday, and I moved from 29 then 30. I'm like, oh my, for the last decade I was in my 20s, right? And now we're in 30. Like November, probably December, I probably started getting a little bit anxious, I would say. I'm like, oh my goodness, 30, probably did a couple of things not done. There's this, I probably should be here. Like 30, I'm still here and all that. I was like, But then as time went on, I was like, no, I'm actually where God wants me. I'm actually exactly where God wants me. And I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to be grateful because where I am is where I need to be. And I took that and I stayed there, and I started receiving and accepting 30 even before 30 came. And I was like, okay, God, I've been around and I'm grateful for 30. And so coming to January, approaching 30, I was like, I'm already leaving 30 before I am 30, right? I'm already leaving 30. I'm on the third level before I even got to the elevator. Woo! I'm getting these lines. Even before I got the elevator, I'm already there. And so approaching 30, I was like, well, what do I do? What do I do for myself? And I just felt rested. I felt rested, at peace. And because December, once I finished the assessment, I was like, God, like, put a mark on me. Like, just, do you know how we want to live for meaning so much, and you try to get meaning from things that cannot give you meaning? Whether that's from movies, girls, ladies, men, women, food, and you want to live up to something, you want to fight for something, you want to spend your life on something worth it, that drive, and everything you put your hand on, put your mind on, it feels as though you just can't hold it. It's like you're trying to hold the wind. For a moment there, you feel like you had it, but it's gone. For a moment there, you feel like you had him, and then he's gone. You had her, and then she's gone. You had it, and it's gone. It's like you're always moving to a direction, and you're never, ever getting to the destination. It becomes like an endless fall. You just never get to the bottom. And you're like, is there more to life? I'm here to tell you there is. There is more to life. So much more to life. And it starts from you realizing that it's more than you. It's more than you. It's beyond you. It's not just me, myself, and I. It's beyond you. You did not design yourself, you did not create yourself, you did not build yourself, even though somebody taught you that evolution of man. What a dumb concept. Evolved? I ain't no ape. Evolved? What is Big Bang Theory? I would have loved to argue this intellectually, but maybe I just need enough data before I get to that argument. Big Bang, like, how can such a fine being like you come from an ape? Like, then why are we not evolving still? Are we? I ain't seeing no evolution happening. What happened? Did it stop? Yeah. So I will not rant here. So, what was that? What was that? Evolution and growth and meaning. Yes, you are a being that was designed, created, thought through. You were thought through to the detail. Like, you were like very thought through before you were ever made. And so to think that you're here for no reason and you just passed by and you just dropped here, I don't care if you came from out of wedlock, but the point you're here, the point you exist, just that reason that you're here, I mean, just the fact that you are here, that means you were needed. If you were not, you wouldn't have come. So your presence is proof for purpose. And there is one. You have a purpose. You have meaning. You have a reason to be here on earth today, now, this moment, this second, this millisecond. You're here for a reason. I don't care what they say, what they told you, what they think, what they. You, my friend, are precious and valuable. And that is important. And that should be in your mind. And so when you understand that there is someone who created you and fashioned you and put breath in you and made you and then brought you forth, and that your life is not really your own, although you should take ownership, but it's not really your own, you start to be free. You start to know where you start and where you end and where God starts. And probably you don't, maybe not even know where he ends, right? Because he's endless. You start to know that. You start to be free. You start to be liberated from things, people. One of the biggest addiction is people. You can get addicted to people. People. That. And I love Jonathan McReynolds' song called People. Check it out. It talks about like addiction to people. Deliver me from people. That's one of the things that I've fought through. And this is a progressive thing. We are all breaking through things and becoming better in different aspects of our life. We're all moving on a journey. Everybody is on somewhere, someplace. And at the place you are, just know God is with you right there at that moment, no matter how you feel. He's there. Doesn't matter how you feel. Doesn't matter at all. So the meaning comes from knowing that you are not an accident. And once you start connecting with him, he starts to hold you and start to feel his love. He starts to build you, start to work through you and work on you before he even works through you, work on you, work in you. Starts to move these things like an architect, move that piece like, oh, this was said by Shanainai. Shanainai said this crazy thing. This is not supposed to be in your system. We need to get rid of that. And then he says to move those pieces of puzzle and align your mind, your heart, and put it into the right perspective until you're aligned to know who you are. I'm like, oh, I am Kevin. And that's my thing. Oh, this is what, okay, that's, so you get the aha moments and you're like, this was what was taught to me. This is bad. I've been viewing life in the wrong lens. I've been viewing God in the wrong lens. I've been viewing everything in the wrong lens. as you understand that, things start to change for you. Things as your internal alignment starts, as your sight changes, as you uncover your identity, things change. They change because you changed. If they're not changing, if everything's not changing around you, it's because you've not changed. Until when you change, things will start to change for you. So yes, I don't know why I went there, but coming into 2026, I took the strategy and I said, peace first. Peace first. I even have a document on my Notion. It's called Living a Quiet Life, the peace first strategy, or the peace first direction. And prioritizing me, prioritizing what God has for me, prioritizing my life, prioritizing my voice, prioritizing me. Like, we prioritizing me now, right? Like, we've been prioritizing people. Like, don't get me wrong, people are important, but in what order, right? In what order? It matters. Depleting yourself emotionally, doing something that you don't like to be liked, that is unhealthy. You don't want to do that. That is just bad. So something else I discovered in assessment is a lot of rest. I'm a creative. I need a rest. I edit, think, plan. I get in my head sometimes a lot, and probably that's why you need friends who you can like sit with and talk to and open your mind up. Sometimes you can be so biased. And so I learned about rest. That's when I traveled. I went to Arusha, took some time. I think God had to tell me to go there, not just to change space, but change environment so that my mind can breathe, right? Oof. So I needed that travel. And yeah, so 2026 is peace first, looking into it. And I already have like this projection of 2026 in theme wise, and the kind of life that I would love to live or desire to live. And God works through your desires, but he has to purify them first. Right? So it's good to bring them to him. As he purifies them, he gives you his desires, and through his desires you live your life. And it feels like your desire. It's like, now this is my desire. God's desire is my desire. Now this is my desire, and it's fun. It doesn't feel guilty because you know this is his desire. And going to 2026, and I'm excited for this year. I'm sorry that I turned 30. I dropped a song. I've always wanted to do a song and do a video, because I feel like people like do these simple videos, and then they're like, oh man, this doesn't need a really huge budget. Here in Tanzania, the videos are probably, the market wants that, and I know, but I'm like, I don't want to have a lot of cars. Of course, having women is not even an option, like dancing, like I don't know what they're called, but it's not on the list. Like, you can't, like, yeah, doesn't make sense to, why am I even talking about this? Anyway, so I've always wanted to do a song, and I just did this song. I was coming from a shoot in the office. We were shooting this apartment, the business that I'm in. Yeah, check out Uzek Tajiri on YouTube. You'll find Airbnb Tajiri. We're in that line of business, which is Airbnbs, and we're helping Airbnb owners get clients, and we're creating spaces. Not even creating spaces. We are curating experiences in Airbnb. So it's like a home hotel stay where you have like an amazing experience in an Airbnb. So you stay with us. So it's like Tajiri BNB. So this is not an ad. I'm just telling you, like, we're connecting. So I'm telling you what I'm doing. So that is what we do. And I work on the content side a lot. Like I'm on the head of content, and right now we're building systems, putting together. We've done a lot of YouTube last year. We've done a lot of videos. If you check it out, you'll see. And this year we're looking into a lot of strategy and systems. And so it's fun. It's fun. I'm learning a lot of content in YouTube, etc., etc. But coming to this, what am I saying? Peace first strategy, right? I was talking about peace first strategy. I hate when this happens. I mean, does this happen to you sometimes? Where you're like talking and then a thought, like a train of thought, and then boom, you forgot something. I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna stay here until I remember. What was it? Peace first strategy. Yeah, the song. Yeah. Saying I'll stay here. Thank you, Jesus. 30. So then I was coming from that shoot. I was in the back of a bike and going home. And this idea came of me in a motorcycle, holding my phone and probably getting that GoPro kind of video. And I was like, okay, you know what? I do not have a GoPro right now, but I do have a Samsung S22 and I can do 0.6 magnification and I can hold it like this. And I did that. I pulled the phone, put it like this, and I make sure like it's around 4 or 5 minutes because I was not expecting my song to be beyond 4 minutes. Then I held it like this, and then I got home, and then I had this idea because it's 30. I just want to be grateful and share this story. And I went to look for the old albums, pictures of me young and everything. So I had like pictures of me when I was a child. It's like I'm quoting a verse, right? When I was a child, I walked like a okay, never mind. So I took that and I started taking photos of that. And then I collected different memories and I started editing. I used Suno as AI. I recorded the melody of the song and I wrote word for word the entire lyrics. And then I stitched it together, put it on Suno. And the first attempt to create, I heard the first one was like, this is it. That's it. I tried to create others, like they were not lining up to what I felt was the message I wanted to convey. So I was like, this is it. I ain't doing anymore. I took that and then I placed it on CapCut, lined it up, used GPT again to give me some form of direction because of the story of the kind of video, the song video, and what I had and what I want to do. So they gave me some of the tips on what to do and when I was editing, and I worked on the tips, used the tips, and I created this song and I uploaded it on YouTube. My different channel. There's another channel where I put music and my music journey. And I was so happy. Did the cover, the thumbnail, called the song 30 bracket long way, Kevin Metili official video. I get to put that official video bracket that I see so many musicians put. I'm like, I'm gonna put that too. So I did that and I'm like, woof. Yes. And that song, going back, and I was listening to it this morning, just going back to it. And I was like, this wasn't just me writing a song. This was me writing a prophecy. This was me declaring. This was like a word. And this is my word for this season. And then one of the lines that I really love, and I was like, oof, this is a really good line. And I was writing it. And it says, I don't count years, I count grace. I don't count should-haves, I count thank yous. God, thank you for my 30, because 30 is my wine field. And that's what 30 feels to me. It's a wine field. It's like the turnaround. Let's prosper, let's make money, let's make a difference, let's be me, let's voice out, let's break through, let's be all that I can be. No curtains, no hiding place, no dark corners. It's breaking out and being everything that I was designed to be. It's doing the things that in me has always been me. Like within me, I know this is me. And just explore. If it's the song, let's write it, let's create it, let's do a video. If it's a studio, let's build it, let's make it, let's move it. If it's film, let's do it. Let's do it. Like if it's whatever, we're doing it. So that is why I actually shot this episode. It's a solo. because I noticed also, in hindsight, I most probably was bringing guests, yes, and I love the guests. They did an amazing job. And I've heard so many people say uh, that they were impacted. So many people, from comments to people telling me they watched the episode 3-4 times. I'm like, you watched the episode 3-4 times? That's an hour plus. People's people have been impacted with it, and I'm like, wow. So it tells me it's not just about me recording. It's something for people. It's something that people gain from. And I told myself that I'm going to record only peace first. It's a lived experience. Peace first. Only record authentic, real stuff. I am not going to talk stuff that isn't real. I'm not going to talk just because I want to talk something good. I'm going to talk and share lived experience. Even the people that I'm thinking to bring this time around, I'm not going to reach out and say, you're a celebrity. You look nice. You are wonderful. I want you in the episode. I'm not going to do that. No. I want real authentic experiences and conversations that are forward driven, that are centered in truth. So if we want to do that, I'm going to start with people I know. Real life conversation. So you might see a friend, you might be the one. Yeah, as long as I know and I feel within that this will be a really good episode. People need to hear this. Let's vibe. So that's really the thing. And the aim is to build a place where we could have authentic conversations, forward driven, all focused on you becoming the best version, all the version that God created you to be in every aspect. So even in the channel, you realize I changed the name. It's not Thrive 365 Podcast with Kevin Metili. It's Thrive 365 with Kevin Metili. So you can thrive 365 in every way. So I might be dropping episodes on health, on fitness, on wealth, on whatever, as long as it's Thrive 365 every day of your life. And then you have the Thrive 65 podcast. For now, we're just going to flow with that format. And I'm telling you, we're still taking structure. And as we go, it's going to be a good thing. I'm going to be myself. Yeah. Too many copycats out there. I am not going to be one. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for listening, watching, and I am excited for this year. And probably we might do one interview episode every month, maybe one. 2 was a little bit much. 1 could work. Interview. This one's probably once a month as well. I do not know yet. It's still taking form. Other than that, I'm excited for you, and I just want to remind you: do not live beneath your potential. Do not live beneath. Do not live. You don't want to take 2026 lightly, not because it's the new year, but because you're worth it. You're worth it. You're worth being focused on. You're worth improving. You're worth growing. You're worth being happy. Don't drain yourself throughout the year. Don't work. Yes, do it. Do the job. Rest too. Do the good stuff. I have my cashew nuts here. I love cashews. So if you want to send me a birthday gift, I'm just saying, give me cashews and a book. Maybe also give me a good book. What else can you give me? Yeah, give me a ticket or a travel somewhere quiet. Yeah, somewhere quiet. Or give me carrots. I snack on carrots. Not done that much recently, but yeah, it can work. Thank you so much. It's Kevin Metili, Thrive 365 Podcast. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, if you're listening from Spotify, you're listening from YouTube, you're listening from whatever, just subscribe, stay tuned, and we're going to have a great time. So until next time, peace. Have an amazing year. Have an amazing year, bro. Have an amazing year, sis. Bye-bye.